achieved.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey, where I know I left you for a while, and I'd like to apologize. But I was out of town this weekend, and yesterday had to make a long drive. Now, we're going to break down this Cowboys game based on the coach's tape that I was able to watch this morning. Once I got home, I had to make the long drive because I was out of town, and then I was sick. And when you're sick in today's world, you immediately assume you've got the Rona, which I did. So I went and got tested. Instead of flying home, I drove home. And because, you got to be respectful of the people. You don't want to jump on a plane or go to an airport if you think you got the Rona. But it came back negative. Whee! So I'm just sick. I forgot there were other sicknesses out there other than the Rona. Totally forgot. So whatever. We'll bounce back. But let's talk about the All-22 versus Cowboys. First thing I want to get clear is if you are new to hearing me talk about sports, we're not going to scream about how the team sucks because it's not true. So we'll just focus on what we actually watch and where the Cowboys are and where they may be headed. The first thing that I want to point out about this game is, man, it was a pretty good game. You had some pretty big backbreakers for the Cowboys that if they'd gone a different direction, you can absolutely beat Seattle. The first one that I would point out is the 3rd and 10 play where you blitz and you get a sack on Russell Wilson, but like one part of one finger touched like one part of his face mask. And so now instead of 4th and 17 and getting the ball back in a tie game, you then commit multiple more penalties. On a 2nd and 9, Jordan Lewis has a PI, then a PI on Brandon Carr on the 1-yard line that lets Seattle go score. There were moments in this game where if anything had been a little bit different, you have a chance to win, and they still had a chance to win, honestly. One of the big things that I really, really liked in this game is early on, it starts off great. Aldon Smith, second play of the game, gets a sack, and what was on the first play of the game? Aldon Smith batted a ball down. So Aldon Smith in this game, 3 sacks. He now has 4 on the season. He got 2 from right defensive end, 1 from left defensive end, 2 from standing up, 1 with his hand on the ground. Aldon Smith is your lone bright spot on the pass rush for the Cowboys. Now, they're going to need other guys to get it going because that's what's going to be the problem here. This Cowboys offense is going to be phenomenal over the course of the year. It's going to be great. There's nothing to worry about with the offense except for the fact that Zeke can't catch. I think officially he was listed with 3 drops. If you're a harsh grader, you could say he dropped 6 passes. I would say either 4 or 5, but you can't do that. That's bad. But this offense is going to be totally fine. They already are, honestly. They're already totally fine. It's the defense that you got to worry about because right now you have one guy who's rushing the passer well, and you have 0 guys who are covering well unless you want to count Xavier Woods. But in this game, I would not count Xavier Woods as covering well. It's tough on some of these plays, though, to figure out whose fault something is. For instance, at the snap of the ball, if both safeties are dropping, then it would be my initial inclination that they are in too deep and they each have a half of the field, and then Tyler Lockett just runs a butt-naked post from Woods' side to Thompson's side. Who do you blame? Well, I'll blame both since neither one got back on that play. But right now the Cowboys have maybe no guys that are good in coverage and maybe one guy that's rushing the passer well. That's going to be the problem. Tank Lawrence is going to have to come alive as a pass rusher. He was really good against the run, as usual, and don't worry, I give up. You're not paying $20 million for a great run stopper, but he still is that. But he's got to get something going as a pass rusher, or Tristan Hill's got to keep coming along and be a factor as a pass rusher. Everson Griffin's got to come along and be a factor as a pass rusher. Somebody's got to do it because, once again, the quarterback of the other team was way too comfortable in the pocket, except on the plays where Aldon Smith was a problem. 3 sacks. 1 bat down or 2 bat downs, and he also had another play where he's hitting Russ before Russ is ready to throw, and it was almost a sack, but Russ managed to just fling it into the ground for an incomplete. So Aldon Smith was all over the place. Tank Lawrence played fairly well overall, but I know what you're looking for from him is sacks, and that's fine. Outside of those two, I don't think any defensive player played all that well. Tristan Hill and Dontari Poe, I thought both of them were okay. Nothing stuck out about them getting manhandled or pushed around, so I thought that they were okay. But there just wasn't a lot of good from the Cowboys defense in this game. Other than, here's the weird thing. They do manage to get enough stops to give you a chance. There were opportunities in this game for the Cowboys after a stop to go take the lead a lot. And I know they did take the lead at one point, but they're oddly kind of sort of getting off the field enough, even though individually you watch the players and, God, if Joe Thomas doesn't blow a coverage on 4th and 2, you probably win this football game. But there's a lot of individual plays you could point at where you say, and they probably win this football game. They probably win this football game. There's also plays that Seattle could have made where you maybe lose this game by more. Like if DK Metcalf doesn't go into trot mode after catching a 60-plus yard bomb on Trayvon Diggs, maybe you get blown out. But Trayvon Diggs is a good natural one to go to. I know that I'm just kind of riffing here because all I did was just go through the entire game and make notes of each drive of things that jumped out at me. So while we're talking defense, let's talk about Trayvon Diggs. I think that pick's going to turn out to be a good draft pick for them. But right now, the things that we're talking about that Trayvon Diggs is doing well are sort of the intangible things. He's willing to be physical. He busts his ass. He doesn't quit on plays. Those are great. He's not a good NFL cover guy at this point. DK torched him. And that's okay. I also tried to warn people about this coming into the season, where if you are expecting your second-round rookie corner to walk into the NFL and be locked down, that's your fault. Get ready for some ups and some downs. He played the last bomb to Metcalf well enough on a big play to cause an incompletion. But this is the way it's going to go for rookie corners. It's very rare you get to walk into the league and be shut down and just dominate everybody. So Trayvon Diggs, you're seeing promise because you like the football character of a guy who won't quit on plays, that's aggressive against the run, that's physical. There's a lot of things to like about him, but he's not a good NFL cover guy at this point. The reason that I think he's getting a decent amount of praise is the Cowboys don't have any good cover corners right now. So at times you can look at him and be like, hey, he's covering pretty well, right? Well, none of them are. It's kind of where you are in the secondary right now. Dak, I don't think there's a ton to say about. I think the first interception is an Amari Cooper slant, where I think he's just banking on worse coverage because he can't throw it any further inside, or he's going to throw a pick to, I forget if it was linebacker or safety, but he's got a problem inside. He can't throw it too far inside, and Cooper doesn't have much, if any, separation on his route. And so what you had was a really good play made by a corner who ran the slant route for Cooper. The ball is behind. If you could delete everyone else on the field, then you would say, Dak, throw that further out in front, and Cooper can catch it, and the corner can't make a play. But I don't think he could really do that. So the only solution there, I think, is maybe throw it earlier, and then you can lead him more. But like that play, I would imagine Dak wishes he could have back, but I think he's just trusting that Coop is going to route this guy up enough that he's going to have space that this throw will work. So that one's on Dak. Late in the game, he had another one that should have been picked that Michael Gallup ended up catching because a dude couldn't catch it at corner. But overall, I thought Dak, per usual, played really well. He made a whole bunch of big plays. He moved in the pocket well to give himself a chance to make a lot of plays. The blocking in front of him was very meh at best for the vast majority of the game. And he overcame a lot of big third downs. He made a lot of big throws, the bombs to Gallup. Other guys on offense that are worth noting, Cedric Wilson, baller. Wow. The Cowboys have 4 legitimate receivers, Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown. When they've been called on to play and have been targeted, they've been really good. So that's great for the Cowboys to have that many guys at wide receiver that can contribute and help you. Cedric Wilson, after the catch, was really, really good in this game. So a salute to him. And, of course, CD and Gallup and Amari, Noah Brown at times. Dalton Schultz, he's that close to having really good games. This is why I think the Cowboys are really close. Dalton Schultz is this close. Just a little more consistency catching the ball, and he's out here making really big plays for this team. But there were plays he left on the field. where if you have them, they can change the game in terms of his drops. Zeke, too. Now, Zeke's drops aren't as big a deal because the depth of target on his throws weren't deep, but holy cow, catch the football. The other thing, and this is where I think you can put a lot of faith in that the Cowboys are really, really close, is, let me make sure I have the right point in the game, but it was in the second half when the Cowboys changed their offensive line. So Terrence Steele came out of the game. Some would say he was benched, but I saw Slater saying his agent said, no, he had food poisoning and he was trying to tough it out and just eventually he couldn't go anymore. But either way, when Steele came out of the game, Zach Martin moved to right tackle. Joe Looney moved from center to right guard. And Tyler Biadasz, your rookie center, came in the game. And as soon as that happened, the Cowboys in 3 plays called 2 fairly long developing throw the ball down the field routes. The bomb to Michael Gallup, and then I believe it was Cedric Wilson across the way who then went and scored. So they switched that offensive line and moved Zach Martin to right tackle, which he's never played, I don't think. He was a left tackle at Notre Dame, and he's been a guard in the league. But whatever. That's what I've been saying. You could put Zach Martin literally anywhere on that offensive line, and he's going to be great. And so he went to right tackle. Looney went to right guard. Now, at the end of the game, they weren't able to handle a 2-man stunt that led to Dak having to do the holy cow Superman routine and then throw the pick into the end zone, which isn't his fault either. It's no one's fault. Throw it down there. Give your team a chance. You gave your team a chance. It was picked. Don't care. But when they went to that offensive line, Dak had more time. Dak was able to be more comfortable in the pocket. So whether Lyle Collins is able to come back this week or whether Terrence Smith is able to come back this week, I think what you saw is no team is equipped to lose 2 offensive tackles. And the Cowboys finally did something that we've been talking about for a while, which is I think you probably have better depth on the interior, especially now with Tyler Biadasz on the team. Connor McGovern is on the team. Like, no matter how good or not good they are, I think it's better than running out multiple swing tackles. And the Cowboys, without Cam, let me get my Cams right, Fleming gone, Irving in, Irving hurt, but that was supposed to be their swing tackle. He's hurt. Brandon Knight, Terrence Steele, you're going that deep on your tackle depth chart, and they don't need to. And I don't think they will again because they've seen that Zach Martin can slide out there to tackle if you need to, and he'll do that job. And he'll do that job well. And Looney and Biadasz being on the inside gives you a better chance than if you try to run undrafted free agent right tackle out there. Use your best 5. They've talked about that before. Use your best 5, and this team could be super explosive. The offense is already good. Quite good. But when they get the blocking to give themselves a real chance, this should be one of the top 2 or 3 offenses in the NFL. And maybe it's this week with LC comes back and Tyron comes back. Maybe they don't. But I think they're starting to see we can't have Brandon Knight and Terrence Steele on the field. We've got to do something different than that. And they will. Leave in the – hey, Zerline, they're extra points, dude. Don't doink an extra point. And Brandon Knight, don't let him block an extra point. But that's it for today. Welcome back to me. It's nice to see you guys. I think I've had my camera a little bit high the whole time. But whatever. Leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in here. I absolutely love you. You're the best. Mash that thumbs up, and I need you in the comments with what you want to talk about. Make sure you're subscribed to get the notifications turned on. 21%ers. Love you guys. Yeah, I love you. Bye. Wait, where's the stop button? I love you. Bye. Who's still here at 14:05 when you thought I was already done? I love you.